Here we go. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Here's my colleague Dinah.
Hi, Cliff.
And yeah, welcome back to the first Tuesday webinars. This is the first one of the new season. We had a break in August. And yeah, really happy to be back. We've had 400 people sign up, so that's a nice number. And yeah, so this, oh, here we go. Look at everyone saying hi. Have a look at the chat. You see people.
Put my glasses on.
Yes, they're all coming in from Spain, Germany,
Mitzi.
UK.
Wow.
Yes, great
Hello,
to see you all.
people.
It's great to see you all here. Yeah, and so we've been quite busy the last couple of months because we've got new ideas of how we can make fun things happen here at New Energy Work. And so the purpose of this webinar is to basically show you some of the stuff we've been doing and some of the big plans we've got for October, because we're going to do a major relaunch, and we'll tell you all about that as we go. So what we can do now is we can share the slides. So let's just do that. Here they are. Yeah, okay. So we're going to be introducing the idea of these observed treatments, and I'll just give you an overview of the whole webinar. Okay, we've got an hour as usual. I'm going to talk about why we think observed treatments are so important, talk a little bit about my experience with my apprenticeship, and then a partnership with the Shiatsu Centre, because this is where Dinah's just finished with a client just a few minutes ago, and this is where I've been working all day. This is the Shiatsu Centre in the UK, and we're going to be doing a partnership with the Shiatsu Centre. We've been doing some trial videos. We're going to show you how we've been creating these videos, a little bit different from the online courses. It's more of an intimate kind of thing. We'll explain that. And actually, Dinah, you did a trial, didn't you?
I did.
We did a trial, testing everything out, and that went pretty well. We've got a little bit of a clip of that to show everyone.
Which I haven't seen, so I hope it's not too embarrassing.
No.
I being the receiver, Cliff being the practitioner.
Yeah, this
That's
time,
the
idea, we kind of recreated the session. Okay, and then we'll just tell you a little bit about our plans for October. So yeah, I hope it's going to be of interest to you. And it's great to see you from all over the world as usual. That's really cool. Okay, so let's just find out a little bit about you. I'd like to do that. Let's just see if that comes up in the next slide. Observed treatments. Okay, now let's just start off with about the observed treatments. Okay, well, just want to just say a little bit about my experience, because I studied for 5 years part-time in the UK. And then I went over to America and I did a full-time apprenticeship. And what that meant was it meant basically seeing hundreds of treatments. You know, I mean, I was able to observe them. I got information from Pauline about what was happening and what happened in the session. And then she asked me questions and things like that. And I found that
You should perhaps say that you did your apprenticeship with Pauline Sasaki.
with Pauline Sasaki,
Those people
yes.
who don't know.
Yes.
There's a picture.
Of her in her house. I went over to America and I stayed in her house for 3 months, and I watched hundreds of sessions, because she was doing a lot of sessions in those days. She was doing like 5 days a week, you know, lots and lots of sessions. So I've always thought that would be, I've always had this kind of dream really, that somehow that experience could be made available to more people, something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because school is great, you know, you learn all the stuff, you might do some clinics, but the clinics are not usually that extensive. I mean, we do them in the Shiatsu College, and they are very valuable, but you don't have that ongoing thing of like watching
a master at work.
Well, I don't know about a master. By the way, we're going to always be the one doing the treatments. I'm trying to get Dinah to do some, and Shakura said she's going to do one for us. And I thought also we could get guests in as well. That would be
somebody who wants
really
to
good.
Offer their services.
Yeah, we can get some guests in. So that's the idea. Oh yeah, here we go. So let's find out a little bit about you first of all, before we go any further. So we've got a poll. This is, if you hadn't been on a webinar before, you're going to get a chance to click an answer here, and we'll find out a little bit about you. So yep, here we go. Sharing the poll now. So if you just like a teacher and practitioner or some other thing that's not a Shiatsu person.
I'm going to get my other glasses. Excuse me for
Okay.
a moment.
Yeah.
Let's see what's there.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got the vast majority of you are Shiatsu practitioners. We've got quite a few students though. We've got 10% of you as students. So that's interesting. We'll be discussing that a bit later. And Yeah, we've got about 12% teachers. So that's another interesting thing that we're planning as well for the future, maybe support for teachers. And we're also thinking of specific support for students. So that's really interesting. And we have got one person who's not a shiatsu practitioner, who's other. So there we are, the mystery person. Okay, great. So I'll just hide that. Yeah, so look, Dinah, mostly shiatsu practitioners, 71%, although 10% of students and 10% of teachers. So it's quite a substantial number of teachers as well. Yeah, okay, so.
Now I can actually see what it says on the screen.
Great, okay. Okay, we also would be just interested to know, because we have actually thought about possibly translating some of the material into other languages. So we thought we'd just ask you what your first language is and see whether there's a large number of people who have got another language apart from English as their first language. So maybe just let us know. Whoa, okay, here we go. Okay, we have, as expected, we've got quite a lot of English speakers, but actually only half, just over half, 53% are actually have English as a first language. So that's very interesting. So yeah, we have been thinking, and we see that German is also 26% is, we have been thinking about translating some of it, but of course that's another whole thing. So we'll be in touch with that a bit later, but thank you for that. That's really very interesting. Okay, so back to the webinar. So this is me in the kitchen with Pauline, and really that was the start of the whole idea, really, was to try and see if somehow that could be recreated. I mean, one of the problems I've found when I've tried to do that with a group is that if you have a large group of people in the room, it really does change the dynamic, doesn't it?
Between you and your receiver, yeah.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And because there's so many people looking, and particularly if those people who are looking are really engaged in the session, it can really influence it. It's quite often a very powerful experience, but it's not that realistic.
Absolutely. It's very different than one-to-one or two-to-one.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought maybe the internet itself, with video, might be a way that we could make that happen. So that's what we've been working on the last couple of months. It's an idea we've had for a long time.
Roger says he offers video transcription and translation.
Okay, Roger, that's very good. Okay, we'll get in touch with you about that.
Sarah, I'm bilingual, Italian
first and English second.
Great.
Yeah, great. Yes, good. Okay, cool. So let's have a look. Okay, so just out of interest, if you want to see a little bit of history, this is the famous yellow book, which I wrote down everything in, and it includes, in the back, it includes transcriptions of all of the different sessions that I saw. So it's got a record of all the observed treatments that I was involved in. So it's kind of part of the history.
It's quite a big notebook.
It's very thick. Yeah, okay. It's full of diagrams. You can see how I like diagrams to show exactly what's happening. So what we wanted to try and do was we wanted to try and recreate a clinical setting. And then the idea of that is to change the focus a little bit with postgraduate work, with rather than just keep up until now, and it's been fantastically successful. It's been really great fun. And we've produced 5 online courses so far. Yeah, 5. And we've got the 6th one coming up in October. That's with Carola Beresford-Cook. On TCM and Shiatsu, that we've had fun doing. But I was thinking, rather than having just like a series of courses, wouldn't it be kind of interesting to have actual treatments as the center, So there'd be like, say, a monthly treatment, which would be observed.
And then a course that comes out.
Well, no, because then we could reference the courses. Right. So, so like, okay, this is, this technique is in this course, or, this technique or this syndrome is in the TCM course, or whatever. So the courses would be like a resource, which would feed in to whatever the client.
Live practice.
Yeah. Whatever the client brought to it. So that's how we can change the whole focus like that. Okay, so then we thought, then I was like, kind of like really nervous then, because I thought, well, I wonder if anyone will actually do it I mean, would my clients actually like
Be
be
prepared.
videoed? Yeah, yeah. So I asked a few. I've asked 3 so far, and to my surprise, really, I suppose, they were all very enthusiastic. I mean, they were absolutely fine. And in fact, tomorrow afternoon, we're going to do the first one with an actual real client, someone who's not in the team. Okay. So I'll see how that goes and I'll let you know.
Yes. So it has to be a trial run initially, see how you get on.
Yeah. But I mean, we've trialed the actual technique side things with Dinah, and we did one with Shakura.
Phil is happy to volunteer as a client.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, okay, great. That'd be really good. Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else want to come to Norwich and have a free treatment? No, but I was really happy because everyone so far has said yes. And as you'll see later in the webinar, we've tried to create a very supportive atmosphere, and that's one of the. Trish is only 45 minutes away. She'll volunteer.
Cool.
But I think for me, from the point of view of doing something like this, the important thing is to keep the space safe, to keep it a safe space and to keep it controlled. And we've put various safeguards in place, which I'm kind of experimenting with. So anyway, we've got these volunteer clients. I thought that was like really cool. So far, three have volunteered, and I've got a few more in mind. We thought we'd try and make it as discreet as possible. So when we do the online courses, we've got a whole lighting rig, we've got cameras. It's just like a studio, isn't it? Right. So I thought we don't really want that with the poor client lying there, like lights and everything. So we thought we'd try and do it as low key as possible and use natural light. So luckily we've got a very big window in this room. So we're experimenting with like low light cameras and mics and handheld, so they can go round. It
did really feel, as the receiver, I must say, that it felt very unobtrusive,
like non-invasive.
Yeah, completely. The Shakura was doing it, and really unobtrusive.
Yes, yeah,
it's great.
You've got loads of people volunteering now. Maybe shouldn't have said that. Yeah, so we thought, okay, we have we keep it in natural light. We'll use just like a small camera thing. We've had all that set up. And the other thing that I was really concerned about was confidentiality. So that's another reason why what we would like to do is we'd like to actually create like a membership, like an inner circle. So as part of being a member and having access to those treatments, you have to sign like a confidentiality thing so that it becomes like a professional thing. So it's totally enclosed. We don't want it on Facebook. We don't want the ones on YouTube, with the clients, because we want to be able to contain and keep that confidentiality. And that's why I kind of typed up this kind of agreement, which I've done. And this is just a little part of it. And we gave all the clients this information, and we said, clearly that it will be strictly limited. The videos will be strictly limited in a membership only area online, and that we're only going to allow practicing shiatsu practitioners and that's in on it. Okay. And they have to actually explicitly agree not to share it, just like you would do if you were doing supervision or something like that. Yeah. And I actually had to emphasize that we would never make the videos accessible on the wider internet via Facebook and all that kind of thing. Okay, so that's how we're setting up the safeguards. So now we're having a bit of a disagreement here about what we should call them, because my first idea was to call them virtual apprenticeship seminars, okay? Because I thought, it's a bit like my apprenticeship, but it's in a virtual space. So I thought virtual apprenticeship. But then I just thought, well, wait, that's not really fair, because quite a lot of the time, the people who are watching are going to be probably as senior to the people who are practicing, you know what I mean? So it doesn't really feel right. So then I thought, shall we call it clinical observation seminars? But you didn't like that.
I don't like the word very much. I think sounds a bit clinical.
Clinical.
Sounds a bit hospitally, doesn't it?
Yeah. So then we thought, what about observed treatment seminars? Because it's a little bit more chilled out. But we thought, why don't we ask you? Because, you're the people who hopefully will be involved. So we thought we'd set up as a poll. I mean, we've already said what we prefer, but maybe you'll really like one of the other things. Yes. So let's just see what you think. What would you think we should call them? Clinical observation seminars, observed treatment seminars, or virtual apprenticeship seminars? Oh, look, quite a lot of people like the virtual apprenticeship seminar thing. Look,
Mm-hmm.
not many people like the clinical thing, though. Anyone else got any strong views? Would you like to just click on and let us know what you think?
They just can't decide.
No.
I think clinical just sounds a bit...
Oh, COS is a fashion mark by H&M.
Yeah, and OTS does sound like occupational therapy seminar, doesn't it? What can you do?
Yeah, maybe we won't shorten it.
I've
Okay.
heard of a COS.
No, I haven't actually, but it's worth knowing that, isn't it? That's probably why it's so unappealing. Okay, cool. Well, it looks like observed treatment seminars has got the most marks, with the most votes at 52%. Virtual apprenticeship seminars, they still quite like that. So we may mention that a bit when we promote it. Okay, cool. So let's have a look. Right, okay, so I thought maybe like a little peek and show you what we've done. So we've got this really, really small little video setup. You can see me here trying it out in the room. You can see that it's very, very small, and it doesn't really, and you can also see the light, because the most important thing with videoing is lighting. So the natural light from this big window is great. And also we've had it double glazed as well recently. So it's very quiet in here as well, which is really important. We don't get screaming kids in the down the street, and you know, people shouting and stuff, and people delivering stuff. We can't hear that so much. And this is what it looks like from behind the camera. So you can see the whole futon really clearly. And what happens is the person who's videoing it is basically moving around all the time, trying to get the best angle and kind of focus in on what's happening. So that's how we set it up.
And it's a phone, isn't it? The actual.
It's actually an iPhone.
At an iPhone lying on its side.
It's an iPhone that has special software on it, or a special app, and it clips in. It's got a really good mic on it, and so you just kind of clip it all together. And it's got a little handle that turns into a tripod. It's all very clever, and we've got one of those, and we've been trying it out. So yeah, that's how it works. Okay, so look, this was the trial we did. Here's some screenshots of the trial that we did with Dinah, and you can see how the lighting worked out really nicely. Look at the lower one there. It's the light comes in from the window and it kind of lights up really well. And that's me obviously interviewing you and everything. So I just wondered if you can remember how you already said it didn't feel very obtrusive. Or...
No, I suppose, I mean, I have been videoed for the online courses, so it's probably I'm not the best person to as a trial commentator.
No,
but it felt a lot more relaxed than usual. As you say, there aren't banks of lights and tripods all over the place and things. It was just Shakura quietly in the corner with that little thing that you just demonstrated, camera, and just felt like it felt realistic.
Yes. Yeah. Good.
And so I was able to talk about how I felt, and obviously because you and I have worked together a very long time and blah, 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 I chipped in during the session a bit in a way that I wouldn't with a normal, you know, in a standard session. But it felt safe and well held, and just, I mean, you know, you're very professional in your manner, and it was easy to slot into that role of being the receiver.
Right, okay, great. Well, we'll find out tomorrow when the first real client comes in. Yeah, we'll see what it's like. Yeah, okay, but yeah, it did go pretty well. That was the first trial that we had with Dinah.
We didn't have very long, did we?
No, we just did it for like 20 minutes, and actually we've got that on video. So in a minute, I thought we'd just try it out, and you can you at home or wherever you are watching, you could be the first people to see a trial. It's actually, we loaded this one onto the YouTube briefly so that we can run it, but when we do the real thing, it will.
Well, you didn't ask my permission. I haven't seen it actually, so I hope it's not too embarrassing.
We're going to just put it on and then just take it off and just using it for streaming this webinar, and then obviously in the future it'll all be enclosed and it'll all be private, so we can stream the webinar, stream YouTube on here. So we're going to have a look and see how it works. The only thing I would say that's different about it from compared to a normal treatment is that I do actually talk through it. I talk through it. And that was an interesting thing in itself, because I mean, I've done that before with a class, but it was
a teaching situation.
But yeah, this was more like a clinical situation. So let's have a look, see what's okay. So it says play the video. So shall we have a look? So what we're going to do is we're going to let it run for a little while. And what we'd like you to do is use the chat, because what we're going to do when we present these videos live, we're planning to have them presented live in a closed webinar. But then also we're going to put them into a special place online, like an online course, but like a small online course, which will have the video, so you can access it whenever you like. And also it'll have like resources, links to other courses, and it'll have particular feedback on that session, you know, like points that are used and things like that.
And will there be a chat option?
Yes.
Yes.
And
so
there'll be a form.
Cliff, why did you
do that? Well, I wouldn't have done it like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there'll be a chat. There'll be a chat. Yeah, like a chat forum.
Perfect.
Forum, yeah, that's it. So basically, it will be a live event followed by an online resource, a bit like an online course. Okay, so let me play the video. This is a YouTube stream video. They normally work okay, but there might be a little bit of a delay before you see it. But let's just see how it works. It's going to just load up. Here we are. There we go, Dinah. So please come in.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so thanks ever so much for agreeing to have a shiatsu, Dinah.
Oh, well, it wasn't too hard.
No.
To decide.
Because this is kind of like a pilot. It's kind of like the first one to try out how it's going to work. Because what we want to do is change the whole focus of New Energy Work. So instead of just producing courses, we're going to focus it around monthly clinic sessions where we're going to invite clients to come in and do an actual full treatment, and then base information about that from the theory and everything around that. So it's a new idea.
Okay, so that's you talking through while you're giving a session?
Exactly, yeah.
Explaining what you're doing?
Exactly, yes.
And then follow-up would be interpreting diagnoses?
Yeah, exactly, like the theory, if there's any Chinese medicine theory or anything that's relevant, or points, actions and things, you know.
And you might maybe explain your choice of technique or position?
Exactly, yeah.
Or...
Yeah, that's it. And then what we'll do is we'll present that in a live webinar where everyone can ask questions and we can discuss it, and then we'll put the video up on the online site, so it'll be there for reference. That's the idea.
Sounds great.
Yes,
what a good
very
idea.
excited,
yes.
yeah. So now we're going to try it out and see how it works, okay?
And I've just got to act like I've come for a shiatsu session.
Yeah. Okay, so as it happens, Dinah, you had a shiatsu from me just a few days ago on the 22nd.
Last week.
Last week, in fact, it was. Yeah, that's right. So how have you been feeling since then?
Well, if you remember, it was all mad fire element disturbance.
It was. I've got heart protector, jitsu, and kidney kyo, yeah.
And I definitely felt calmer. I was kind of overexcited.
Yes.
Is how your experience, and I've definitely been calmer.
Yeah.
And sleeping a bit better.
Great. Okay.
Despite the heat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I felt very different after the session, I can remember.
Great. Okay.
But I am still over busy.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got things happening on a lot of organisational, a lot of admin, a lot of work on the computer, preparing for the new school year.
Yeah.
I've been having to travel suddenly at short notice, halfway across the country to clear a house and blah blah blah. So
yeah.
I've got a bereavement potential happening, somebody dying in my... So I feel like I'm a bit pulled around.
Okay.
And over busy.
Okay.
And what I'd like from a session is really calm centre.
Okay.
And a feeling of clarity.
Okay. So
that I can move effectively in all these different arenas
at
the same time as you're telling me.
Yeah. So if you did have that centred, calm centre and that clarity, what would that be like?
Well, as I said, it would allow me to move comfortably through these different
Okay.
activities and arenas, and
Okay.
but also I know that I have a sense of some level of fatigue.
Right. Okay.
And I'm really looking forward to my holiday.
Oh, good.
Once term has started, so that's about a month and a half or something.
Okay, so it's still a little way away. Yeah.
In fact, less than that. Yeah.
Have you got any physical aches and pains or anything like that? Tinnitus?
Tinnitus, chronic,
Yeah.
constant,
Yeah.
hissing,
Yeah.
gets louder.
Okay.
Worse with fatigue, I think.
Yeah.
And
How's the lower back?
not too bad, but that's another ongoing chronic, as
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
ache.
Okay. Right.
Generalised across. And this is still numb
Numb from the.
since the severe prolapse of
That's
the
it.
disc.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else? Any of that?
No, I think that's it. A lovely relaxing shiatsu.
Okay.
Great.
Let's go. So let's have a look and see. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to feel Dinah's lower back. I'm just going to see how it feels. And it feels more kyo on the right side. I've got my fingertips like this on her lumbar spine. I'm just feeling down to the sacrum and now the sacroiliac joint, both sides. And actually, she's a little bit more kyo on this side, on the sacroiliac joint, a little bit tighter there. And then in the lower back, it's the other way round. It feels a little bit kyo, especially down low, down there, around L4 or 5, yeah? Okay, so now I'm just going to align myself, relax, going into a whole body scan, picking up a little bit of tension around Dinah's diaphragm there, feeling a deficiency or an emptiness in this whole right hip area from the sacrum. This is in the scan. Okay, and now I'm just going to do the heart diagnosis. Still a little bit of overactive in the heart there from last time. This looks fairly kyo, this is fairly okay. Triple heater's a bit jitsu, lungs a little bit kyo, heart protector still jitsu, but much less than last week. Spleen's a little bit jitsu, and kidneys kyo, bladder kyo, large intestine a little bit more kyo, small intestine jitsu. So we've still got a bit of a fire pattern going on there, and we've got kyo, kidney and bladder. So let's do the reactions, going for heart jitsu, kidney kyo. It's more heart protector, it's a stronger reaction there. Bladder and kidney reacting with the heart protector. I'm just going to check the triple heater just to see. And that's reacting as well with the kidney and bladder. Okay, so now let's check the resonances with Dinah's lower back. I'm just going to put my fingertips of my left hand right on her L4, L5 area on the right hand side of her spine and see what happens. My palm underneath can feel the whole of her lumbar area, so I can also feel small intestine running through her back as well. So let's see what happens when I test. I'm going to test the heart. Feel a slight tightening in the small intestine meridian. Testing the heart protector. That's very resistant. And it just feels like it's being held in the back there. And now I'm testing kidney and it feels really relaxing. It kind of opens up and gets stronger in the lower lumbar. I don't know if you can feel that, can you? Yeah. So that gives us confirmation that the diagnosis is resonating in Dinah's back. Okay, so then we can start working. Now, I would always do the good side first, so I'll come over this side and let's see if we can make this side feel more like this side. So I'm going to just check the meridians. We've got heart protector, just feels jitsu in Dinah's leg there, and I'm just curving my fingers around to feel the kidney channel. This is the classical kidney meridian, and that feels a bit kyo. I'm just going to check the triple heater. And then we've got heart protector, kidney. I've got a nice reaction with my other hand here in the back with the kidney meridian. So I'm just going to use this. Planning ahead now, thinking that when we get Dinah in a side position, we'll be able to do more work on the kidney channel there. And then just going to check triple heater. Again, it's Jitsu here. Kidney 3, just checking that. Nice connection with the lower back. Kidney 1. Getting nice feedback from the whole lower back there.
Feels great.
Does it feel good?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's just go and do a little bit of sedation with small intestine. And because of the tonification, Dinah can take that sedation. She's sort of relaxing in the hip there. My hands, this hand is holding onto the small intestine channel in the hip. Okay. So now we go to the side where there's much more going on. So again, my fingers will go right into the lower lumbar around the spine there, and let's see if we can get some change here. So I'm going to just check kidney 10 for a start, 'cause it's always a good point. My fingertips just going round, connecting the chi, centering myself, connecting the chi between my hands. Nice connection there. And I think before we do any sedation of the fire element, I'm just going to see if we can get a nice, stronger, much stronger feeling there in the lower lumbar. So let's go. Nice connection again. Tonifying the kidney energy into the lower back. Okay, now I'm going to place my hand around a bit. Sure enough, I'm placing my palm now here, right on the small intestine channel and the heart protector channel around Dinah's hip here. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to see if I can get the Kyojitsu movement a bit stronger. So I'm going to go into the kidney meridian again, and now I'm not only feeling the tonification where my fingertips are, but I'm also monitoring the release in her right hip. So, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start switching between the Jitsu and the Kyo. So let's just see if we can get any useful. I'm using this part of my hand on the small intestine channel, and actually that feels quite soothing. It feels quite soothing, and it's opening up her right hip.
So connecting here.
You can feel it in the chest as well. So that's the fire element being activated or relaxed by directly sedating the channels in the leg. So obviously I'm using an intention, like a calming intention, nice steady pressure, connecting through. And if I'd like more information on that, I could always, of course, place my hand here or even here. So let's just try that. There's the heart protector, and that actually feels very good. It feels really very relaxing here. And if you remember, that's where I picked up a kind of obstruction with the body scan. So I've got this area and this area in the body scan as the major areas to check as I work along. So let's try heart protector. So we've got small intestine, heart protector, kidney in the foot, so I'm just checking, sedating the small intestine, the heart protector, and tonifying the kidney. There we go. Right, and I'm just going to check it. Much more even. It's really much more even now. So that's stabilised that. So now we can go up, work more on Dinah's upper body. And so what I'm doing here is heart protector and heart basically here, and then we've got the kidney channel here. So we've got fire element, water element here. Okay, so now we can start thinking about the tinnitus, because we've got the kidney energy related to the tinnitus, but also we've got the small intestine and the gallbladder channels connecting with the ear. So we can test out and see any connections that we get into the head from small intestine. So now, going into small intestine 10, feeling the connection between my hands. And I'm feeling an opening, a kind of opening feeling here with the small intestine channel. And now I can switch to kidney and bladder, see whether we get any connections there. So this is bladder channel in the arm. And now working kidney. So we've got heart and kidney very close together. So I'm just going to use this technique here, tonifying the kidney channel, mother hand over the kidney meridian here, connecting. And part of my awareness is here on the jitsu there, so we're getting two things happening, the kidney meridian tonifying and then the heart and heart protector reacting with the kyojitsu reaction. Okay, and that's softening now, so that side now feels quite a bit softer than this side, which is still fairly raised up. We've got heart, heart protector, heart. Just checking all the channels, focusing in on the ones that we've been working. So we've got triple heater here, triple heater, heart and small intestine. Okay, so that's that side. Don't go to the other side. I'm just going to check the hara now, just see how we're doing. Okay, the heart feels a lot more relaxed. Heart protector still a bit jitsu. Kidney a little bit more jitsu, a little bit more tonified. Okay, so we're going to still go for heart protector. How's it going?
What was interesting was when you were working the fire element meridians in that right leg.
Yeah.
I suddenly got not just a calmer feeling here, but a stronger connection on the spiritual level.
Oh, really?
It's like great. Opening out rather than emotional and mental. It just felt more space and stronger connection on the spiritual level. So that was nice. Yeah.
That's probably a Jing Shen connection, isn't it?
That was my sense.
Yeah.
And actually, I thought triple heater was quite significant for the
ear.
Ear.
Ah, good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you've got gallbladder, small intestine, and triple heater. Obviously, all connect in, don't you? Okay, so let's see what we do this side. So just very tight there. So we've got kidney. You see, this is the kidney kyo, and then this is the heart protector and the heart meridians. This over this whole area here. This is the heart here. I think I'd probably use heart 1 here. Let's just try that. So I'm just going to hold the heart channel And then nice gentle pressure in here with heart 1. There we go. That feels pretty good. And then we can continue down the heart channel. Yeah, there we are. There's definitely some action going on here. In fact, the heart is more reactive than the heart protector. So we're just switching between the different fire elements here. And actually that's what's happened in the heart. It's flipping backwards between heart and heart protector. This heart protector, heart, and then we've got kidney here. So let's just try kidney and bladder. I'm using this technique where we're kind of pressing on the kidney and the bladder like this. Yeah, feels good. Okay, good. And now let's try some ear-related channels by holding onto Dinah's neck, connecting up into the ear. And let's try that triple heater. We've got small intestine. We've got triple heater. Yeah. Okay. Nice connections with up into the neck. So my hand here is feeling the energy connection through into the ear. And then checking heart protector, heart protector, heart, small intestine and heart, triple heater. And I'm scanning up into Dinah's neck and head as I'm doing this to see if I can get some information about the channel's effectiveness. And sure enough, both these two fingers here, especially this one, feels quite live in the connection with her head. Okay. So now it's time for the head and neck. So I'm going to go around here and I'm going to check the 3 points around the ear. So we've got gallbladder, small intestine, triple heater, and we just check out what's going on. So we've got gallbladder, quite, jitsu, small intestine, a bit more active and buzzy, and the triple heater actually locally feels a bit more kyo. So it's the small intestine that's the more buzzy of the 3. We do a head routine, so we're just checking here. Gallbladder, small intestine around the jaw. Just check the heart channel. And then it's time to do Dinah's neck. So just going to lift the neck up and place the cloth underneath her neck, and then we can just work the neck. Thank you so much for taking part in that, because that's our first experiment, and it was just so interesting to kind of type along with it as well and just sort of kind of track it. And actual fact, one of the things we learned from doing that was the sheet was a bit it was a very starchy sheet, so it was kind of like very voluminous and sort of big. And the one we did with Shakura, which was the next one, we did a whole session with Shakura. We used a much thinner sheet, and I molded it around her body more, so you can see the you can see it much easier, so I wonder how you found that. Any comments in the chat? Well, Philip loves it. We've got the hearts in the eyes there. And you found that very interesting. I thought if we could have a whole range of different clients and link it to the theory and everything, it would be Fran found felt really sleepy, so picked up the relaxation. Yeah, okay, that's great. Yeah, all right, everyone likes it. That's good. Yeah, so we just got to get the volume sorted out.
Yeah.
And then what we thought we'd do is we'd run it as a live event. And the video will be live, and basically you can just ask questions as we go through, a bit like you've just done now, and we'll be there just like typing away, and then we'll load up the video, the extra resources, and then they can go, and then if you have any questions afterwards, you can just put them online in the forums and stuff like that. That's kind of how we imagine it's going to work. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was very quiet, I know, and we will get the sound sorted out when we do the real one. In fact, as we'll find out, I'll just go back to the slides. Yeah, okay, look, generally everyone would like, would love to have, yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so we play the video. Let's just have a look, see what we've got. Okay, so yeah, we changed the sheet. We have the sheet much more molded to the person and stuff like that. So anyway, so we thought, because we need to enclose the whole safety of it, because obviously when we were working with real clients, you know, we want it really, really safe. We're going to introduce a membership scheme in October. We're going to spend the next month ironing everything out. We're going to invite you to some other trials later on just to help us develop it. And basically what we thought we'd do is we'll try and do it once a month. We'll have a real client once a month with all the resources loaded up. We'll do a live webinar, so you can ask questions live and meet everyone on the webinar again. Oh look, the sound should have been louder, but the lighting I thought worked out really well with the mirror, with the big window. Yeah, interestingly enough, when I was, because that's the first time I've listened back to it actually since we did it, and I did one with Shakura, a whole session with Shakura. And it was more intense with Shakura. I was talking all the time. And I tell you, by the end of 45 minutes, I was exhausted. I was absolutely exhausted. It was so tiring because you don't realize how much goes on. Because most of the time when you're working, you do it, all these things instinctively. You've got a vague idea, you've got the kyojitsu thing, but you don't really bring into the conscious awareness all the little things you're doing. So I actually found it really quite tiring to do that. But anyway. What else have we got? We've got, yeah, exactly, using resonances and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's really interesting to see. It's really interesting for me anyway to verbalize it. So so the idea is, yeah, we're going to launch like this membership area. We'll have live presentations, and what we're going to do is we're going to open all the online courses, including Carol's course. We're going to open them all up to people who are in the membership area. And what that will enable us to do, will be enable us to literally link anything that happens. I can, you know, so if there's like a body scan, you don't know how to do that, then we can say, go to the foundations course, this module, you know, read up about that, you see. And if it's like a syndrome, we talked about the kidney heart connection, we can link to the TCM.
Okay, thing. So if you subscribe to the members only area, where you can access these observed treatment sessions, then that automatically gives you access to any of the online courses.
Yeah, so they're going to be in a special area.
Even
if you haven't previously enrolled on them, no.
Right, okay. What a good idea.
What we thought we'd do is we continue, because we found that we can really only make 2 online courses a year. That's our maximum, because they take so long to make.
Absolutely.
And so much work. We've got Carol starting this autumn, and we've got a plan. So we thought we'd release a new online course in every autumn and every spring. And then in the winter and the summer, we'll refurbish, you know, we'll renew some of the older ones and just see if we can improve them, because we have got a lot better at doing it. The lighting's best, we've got more equipment and stuff. So there'll be a constant addition of new courses, but also renewing and refurbishing the ones that you may have already done. You may have already done some of the courses, so we're going to refurbish them. So that's the kind of idea. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be launching in October. So let's just have a little quick peek at some other stuff. Okay. So I know you're a self-selected group because you wouldn't have signed up if you're a bit interested, but I just thought it'd be nice to get an idea of what you think or how interested you'd be in joining us, because obviously we need to have people to have fun with. So let's just get an idea of how interested you are. how, yeah, wow, okay. Great. Thank you very
my
much.
question would be that you maybe should have given them an idea of how much would it cost, the membership.
Well, we're still working on that.
Right.
But it is going to be a fantastically good deal.
I don't doubt it, but it would make it easier for people to decide where to choose. Because,
well, what we're looking at is we're looking at an entire year's membership as being less than one course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're looking at, we're thinking of having a student membership, a professional membership, and okay. So Philip wants to know cost. Yeah, this is what we're kind of working on. Something like student membership, professional membership. And we're looking, we think we can make it work if we charge €20 a month if you pay for the whole year, or €25 a month if you pay every month.
Okay.
So that would include all the online, access to all the courses, of which there will be 6, you know, and also it would help us. It would basically help us fund the monthly things, so that we'd have the resources to do the monthly things. So it'll actually be, what is that in pounds? Actually, it's pretty much the same now, with the exchange rate being terrible as it is. Unfortunately, it's going to be roughly the same. Yeah. So it'll be something like that. So it'll be less than just one course. So we reckon we can make that work at the professional rate. The student rate we were thinking of doing is €10 a month if you pay for the year, or €15 a month on an ongoing. And then what we do for the students thing is we were going to give a restricted access to the courses, just obviously because some of them would be too advanced. So
someone's got a question there.
Just hide.
Yeah, there was a question.
Yeah.
What if you've already signed up and paid for an online course before the memberships?
Well, yeah. So basically, what will happen is if you sign up, you'll still obviously have access to all of those courses, but this is an entirely new thing. So you'll have access to the courses that you've already done. We'll be refurbishing them. All the new ones that come on, like 2 a year, you'll get included in the membership. And the main extra thing that will happen will be these monthly things, you know. So it's a completely different thing. We're still going to enable people to individually book on a course if they want to, but we're hoping that it will be such a great idea that everyone will come on board and help us, fund these things. That's the idea anyway. Yeah. So it's a kind of change. It's a change from what we did in the past, and it's really just so that we can fund it and we can keep it going. And here indeed are some screenshots taken from the one we did with Dinah was just like a complete experiment, hence the audio quality. That was just, and thank you for bearing with us there. It was a complete experiment. We're just trying out all the equipment. So anyway, we did the next, I think a few days later, we did another one. We did that with Shakura as the model. What she didn't, it was so funny really, because Dinah was supposed to be doing the model for this as well. Dinah, it was a day off. She said, no, I don't want to come in. Shakura said, oh, I'll do it. I'll be the model. Well, I soon found out why, because she had a whole litany of different physical things going on. It was really quite an intense treatment, and she had a lot of pain going on and all kinds of things. I thought, oh, you'll see when you see it, because we're going to show you, this is going to be free access, this when we get it all set up in the next few weeks. You'll see my look as I got more and more surprised as she gave more and more list of things. So it was a very, very interesting session. And it's a completely full session. I think it's about 45 minutes. And not only that, but Kat was videoing it, and she went out, and you'll see the picture at the bottom of me making the tea. So we did the whole thing. So I went outside, made the tea. Shakura was lying here, and then I just basically talked to camera about the experiences I'd had and what was the most dramatic things that happened. It was a very dramatic session. So this is the trial one that we're going to put together. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get it together in the next couple of weeks. So what we'll do is we'll run an actual rerun of the webinar with all the audio sorted out and everything. if you want to check in and join us on that and give us some feedback on that, that'd be cool. Probably be in a couple of weeks. And then what we're going to do is we've already started setting up the online area where we're going to put the actual video and all the resources and everything. So we should have the whole thing mocked up by the end of the month. That's what we're hoping to do, so we can launch it. And Elke said, is a German translation possible? I tell you what we are doing. I am actually talking to, trying to get a team of translators sorted. And what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to have it translated, like simultaneously translated. So it will be like a separate event where it will be in German. In German. Yeah, and because German is the biggest second language, I think we might start there. And I'm just watch your inboxes if you live in Germany, Austria, or Switzerland, because we've got an email prepared to go out soon, which will ask you if you want it. And we're going to have to judge, obviously, because it's quite an expensive thing to do with translation. We've got to make sure we've got enough people to make it worthwhile. And yes, there is a PayPal option. We've had that for quite a while now. PayPal is very, very popular. Okay, so that's, that was the trial treatment. That it was all very exciting. And tomorrow I'm getting a little bit excited because tomorrow I've got my first real client coming in. And then we'll really see how it works out. I think Kat's doing that one as well. Kat is videoing that, so at least we know. I mean, I think one of the reasons why it's so quiet is because, of course, when you're actually doing one of these treatments, you want to keep it quite quiet. You don't want to be going, oh yes, and this is jitsu. This is going on. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make sure that get some help from Mikey, our resident audio guy, and make sure that we tweak the sound up, get the volume up, normalize it, or whatever it takes to get it all kind of like. But anyway, it's all very experimental. And we've got the rest of this month to get it all sorted and ready for launch, as well as getting Carola's course. We've got most of Carola's course sorted now, and Carola's actually working with Basti in our team right now, doing a whole thing on tongues. Oh, you see that? Yeah, you've done that. Yeah, they go backwards and forwards. They've got it. We had a hysterical session in here, which we're going to release a video of that. We had a really fun time. It was so much fun. We had Carola in here for a whole day, and we had we were looking at everyone's tongues. It was pretty hysterical. So we're processing that at the moment, ready for the launch in October. So it's all happening. You know, it's keeping us busy. Okay, so yeah, coming soon. We've got the trial. Okay, great. Martina thinks the fact that the pricing is reasonable. Yeah, I think it's, I mean, if it's less than one course and you're getting all of them and you're getting an extra monthly thing, I think, you know, it's all to do with funding. You know, if we can get enough people on board and we can afford to run it, it's going to be so cool. And of course, the more people we get on board, the more stuff we can do. So that's really good. So anyway, we've got the trial observed treatment. That's what it's going to be called now. And we've got Shakura. I've shown you the pictures. It's me this time, but it's not always going to be me. You'll get fed up with me after a few months. And we're going to release that hopefully in a couple of weeks. So watch out for your inbox. We've got your email from this webinar. So you're the first to know, basically. So let's hope that we can develop it with your help. Right. Oh, we don't have to fly to the USA. That's another benefit. You see? Yeah. It's more carbon friendly, carbon neutral. And by the way, all our electricity here is from completely green sources. So everything is green. It's totally green here. So that's right. Yeah, great. Okay, so oh my goodness, look at the time. It's like an hour has gone by, just like that. Always does go so quickly with these.
Yeah, you've got 1 minute if you've got any questions.
If you've got any questions at all, then
otherwise you've got to email later.
Yeah, otherwise you can just email us. We'll send the link to the recording out. Thank you very much, Philip. That's very nice of you to say that. I think this is the last slide, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Okay, great. So, yeah, thank you for, great. Thank you to everyone. And thanks for sticking with us with the low audio. I'm glad, hopefully the typing helped out. And we're going to send you the links to the trial session. And I think I'm going to try and book it for 2 weeks' time if I can get it processed, the video. Okay. And then we can try it out because it's a different type of webinar. It's not like quite like this. It's actually what's called it's like an advanced, a recorded event thing. So what you do is the main thing that happens is the video recording of the treatment, and I'm here answering questions and stuff like that. So we need to.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
right.
it's a different
so you'll
type
be playing the.
Yeah. So what happens with the webinar, the next one in a couple of weeks, assuming we can organise it, is actually the recording of the treatment with
will be going on.
Yeah, a bit like we just experiment. That was an experiment with Dinah with streaming YouTube, but this time we're going to stream it directly from Demio. So it'll be a in other words, the webinar platform will stream it, so you won't have any problems with YouTube. It'll be
Thank you, Jackie.
So
holiday.
We made it, Dinah. Thank you very much.
Just in time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just in time. Okay, so thank you very, very much, and we'll be in touch with all the exciting new things that are happening here. And yeah, it's a kind of a dream, really, for me. I've wanted to do this for so long, to do something like this, and finally we've got the expertise, we've got the technology, and it looks like we're going to have enough people to make it a go. So I'm really thankful for that. Thank you indeed. Okay, see you on the next webinar.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.